Alright, let's do this. What is going on here?
Hello and welcome to the Cavern of Terror.
Nightbreed stars Craig Sheffer and Bobby, David Cronenberg, Doug Bradley, and is written and directed by Clive Barker. That's right, guys, we are here for our first in-between review. If you did not watch my review for Clive Barker's Hellraiser, I mentioned at the end of that video that I will be doing reviews in between the Hellraiser sequels that involve directors or actors or people that were involved with the production of the previous film in my next review. So the one in between Hellraiser and Hellbound, Hellraiser 2, is Clive Barker's Nightbreed. Before we go any further into the actual review portion of the video, I do want to tell you that there is a reason why I'm reviewing the director's cut of Nightbreed. One, it's the most prolific version of this movie. It's the most complete version of this movie. And more importantly, it's the Clive Barker approved version of Nightbreed. Yes, there is a theatrical version. I will not be reviewing that. I will be reviewing the version that is closest to his true vision. With that being said, guys, there's a lot to unpack here with Nightbreed. So let's go. First off, guys, I actually want to talk about the opening title sequence. And I know we do have credits here, an opening credits where they show like this cave wall and you get to see like a story unfold. There's actually a title sequence here as well where you get to see like a cutout of Nightbreed come across the screen and you get to see like images, very short scenes from the movie cut out in the background. Really enjoyed it. I actually found out on the director's commentary that that was something that Clive Barker wanted to add in because it's something that was in a lot of older movies and he wasn't seeing it anymore and he wanted to bring it back. That's really, really cool. Getting into the setup and the opening of Nightbreed, we actually have a very wild dream sequence. This thing was crazy. It was like a lot of acrobatics and it looked like Cirque du Soleil with all these monsters running towards this gate. And this is actually revealed to be a dream or a nightmare sequence with our main character Aaron Boone, played by Craig Sheffer. We then find out that Aaron Boone has actually been stricken with these visions for a very long time and has been in several years of therapy. But now, he's feeling pretty good. What? Boone dies 30 minutes in? That, however, is where our story truly begins to unfold. The best way that I can describe Nightbreed to you visually is sensational and dreamlike. Like, if you think that Hellraiser is a stylish movie, then I definitely suggest you check out Nightbreed. Continuing with that, I really loved the set design and the atmosphere here. I loved the way that Nightbreed was shot. It was made to look huge. Take the city of Midian. That's an underground city where the monsters live. It's shot in such a way that makes it look gigantic, and that's really saying something because Nightbreed only had an $11 million budget. I know it's way more than Hellraiser's $1 million budget, but it's still pretty small. There's really a lot of work here where they showed like skulls in the walls and they dirtied everything up and gritted it up and made it look like these characters have been living down here for a very long time. Moving on to the story, I was very intrigued with the way that they told it. See, they split it into 3 different parts. You get Aaron Boone's point of view, you get Laurie Winston's point of view, and then you get Dr. Decker's point of view. So you get 2 different hero point of views and the villain's point of view. I thought that that was really cool. And then they threw the monsters in there as well. So you can say that there is a 4th point of view in Nightbreed. Did anybody else notice that Craig Sheffer as Aaron Boone almost looked exactly like Kevin Dillon's Flag character from the Blob remake? I'm serious, he looks almost exactly like him. Okay, so in all seriousness though, guys, he found a way to really draw me into the character. His portrayal was sympathetic, and I supported his cause, you know? I was there for him when he wanted to prove that he was strong, and he really didn't need Decker's help anymore. And then I was firmly on his side when he became that hero that the Nightbreed needed. And Bobby. No, I'm not doing it. Not today. Not gonna do it. Can't make you do it today. No Haws for you guys. It's not gonna happen. I have too much willpower. Damn, Boone, stop eating her face. You're not a monster yet. Alright, we're gonna rein this review back in here, get it back on the rails. I'm gonna tell you that I was a big fan of Ann Bobby's performance here as Lori Winston, and I feel like Julia Cotton actually has some competition. But, you know, she's a good character. She's a good character that wants to save Aaron Boone the best she can. She's really here for him the entire movie. I mean, we're not sending any men up to Frank's murder attic. That's not happening here. It's true, guys. I really did like her performance here, and she portrayed that conviction to help keep Boone on track and, you know, help save the Nightbreed throughout the runtime. I was very convinced of her character here, and it saddened me to see that she really didn't do anything in horror after Nightbreed, but I did find out some really cool, interesting things about her. I found out that she's the voice of Bridget Tenenbaum in the BioShock game series, a very beloved horror game series, and I was surprised to find out that she actually sang Johnny Get Angry live, which is really interesting because most of the time in movies, songs that are sung in the film are ADR'd later, so you get the lip syncing and then you get the voice put over top in editing, but she actually sang it live, so she is actually a really good singer. Doug Bradley is here as well in a pretty interesting role. He plays Lylesburg, the leader of the Nightbreed. You guys might remember Bradley from this movie right here where he plays the Hell Priest. This is the part of reviewing movies where it gets interesting, and by interesting I should say frustrating, because this is extremely frustrating. Doug Bradley is here physically, but his voice is done by a different actor. That I don't get. You have Doug Bradley in this movie, and you don't use his actual voice. I know they used his actual voice later in the Hellraiser movies, and it's still cool. It's not as good as it is in the original, but you have Doug Bradley. He's in this movie, and you don't use his voice. What? I just don't understand the decision to overdub his voice with someone else's. Maybe it's because he played the Hell Priest in the original Hellraiser movie, and they didn't want people to draw all that connection there and get the characters confused. It just doesn't make any sense to me. It really doesn't. He's covered in makeup. You can't even tell that it's Doug Bradley unless you know what his eyes look like. I'll admit it, guys. I'll be the first to tell you I'm going to be transparent here. I'm not the biggest fan of casting directors and actors roles. I've never been a big fan of it. You can go back to my review of, I believe, Hatchet 2, where they had Tom Holland, the director of Child's Play, as an actor in the movie. I just wasn't a big fan of it. And I can tell you that casting David Cronenberg here, I just wasn't into it. I wasn't into his performance. Listen, guys, hear me out here. I love the idea of this serial killer therapist that's trying to, like, get to Midian and get this ultimate power. I get it. I think it's multi-layered. It's sick. It's cool. But David Cronenberg just wasn't bringing that charisma that I was looking for in this character. I feel like if an actual actor played this character that had, like I said, charisma, I think the villain would have been better. Maybe if they just would have swapped the roles of David Cronenberg and Doug Bradley, I think we would have had a better performance here. As far as the look of this villainous therapist goes, I couldn't help but dig it, guys. And I know it's just a mask and then he wears his suit. So he's wearing a mask, nothing else. But I think it's really interesting. I like the burlap sack aspect with the button eyes, which kind of begs a question. How does he see? How does he see? No wonder he's stumbling around and missing people the entire time, because he can't see anything. Come to think of it, the look of this mask actually reminded me of the Collector's mask. Maybe there was some kind of inspiration there. When you have a movie where the majority of the characters are monsters, one would assume that these monster characters would have to have top-notch special effects makeup. Was it? Yes. Mark Collier and his team's makeup here was spectacular to me. Really, it was, because there's a lot of monsters in Nightbreed, and each one of them had their own unique style. If I had to pick a favorite of the Nightbreeds, that's what the monsters are called in this movie, I think I'd have to go with Peliquin, and that is played by Oliver Parker. Imagine, if you will, Darth Maul combined with Predator. That's pretty much what this character looks like. I'll have a picture shown of the character here. Thought he was really cool. Dug the dreadlock thing. I thought it was awesome. Fun fact for you guys, Sam Bafford and Nicholas Vince, who played the Butterball and Chatterer Cenobites in the first two Hellraiser movies, are also here as monsters. Huh. I guess the good old boys from Halloween 4 aren't done hunting Michael Myers quite yet. But guys, in all seriousness, we've been having a lot of crazy third acts lately here on the channel, and Nightbreed is no exception. This thing is nuts. This is monster on human warfare. It gets intense, and we might as well just throw a ha in there for good measure. We even get to see with those incredible sets that I was talking about earlier, I believe an inspiration for the Johnny Cage Scorpion fight scene in Mortal Kombat. It's crazy. They're flying through bridges and stuff. It's nuts. It really is crazy here in the third act. I never like to end movie reviews with a negative, unless we're doing like a really bad head down movie, then most of the review is a negative. But this is so far a very positive review, and I hate to end it with a negative, but there's something here that I have to talk about, and I will expand upon it in the rating, is that I was very disappointed that this movie really sets up a sequel. There's a lot of things that happen in the third act here that set up a potential sequel to Nightbreed, Nightbreed 2, whatever they would have called it, and it just never happened. But Nightbreed is not a perfect film. It really isn't, but it is a very entertaining and intriguing movie, and that's why I'm going to give it a very, very high As much as I do enjoy Nightbreed with its amazing atmosphere, really awesome sets, the performance from the main character, Craig Sheffer, and Bobby was fantastic in this. I liked the characters, the way they were written. I liked the monsters, the special effects used. I thought all of that was fantastic. The mythology they built up. But it does have its issues. I wasn't here for the villain. I wasn't the biggest fan of David Cronenberg's performance, and I really do feel if they would have had a more charismatic actor in this role, I would have been down with it, because like I said, it is a layered, very interesting character. And I really can't fault the movie for setting up a sequel that we never got, but it really does drag it down. Let's elaborate on that a little bit more. Let's put the review script down. We'll talk about this. I feel like Nightbreed is a perfect example of a movie that should be remade or should get a sequel, because I feel like there is a very interesting world here, and I feel like there is potential to have a great series. I really do think that there should be a remake of Nightbreed somewhere down the line. With the success of Hellraiser, I think that this could happen. I would love to see a remake or a sequel, possibly setting up a new series for Nightbreed. I really do feel like there's enough potential there to have a new, interesting, dark fantasy. Alright guys, that has been my review of Clive Barker's Nightbreed. What do you guys think of this cult classic horror film? It really has developed a cult following, including your boy here. Pretty big fan of it. So let me know what you think of this movie down in the comments down below. If you like this video, guys, make sure you give it a like. And if you want to see all of my future content here on the Cavern of Terror, make sure you hit that subscribe button and hit those notifications to all. That way you don't miss a single upload. That includes my review of Clive Barker's Hellbound Hellraiser 2. Really excited to get to this one, guys. I am doing every single Hellraiser movie and some movies in between each one of those sequels. So I'm excited to see you guys in those comments as well if you hit that subscribe button. I'm telling you, dude, you're watching YouTube right now, you might as well hit the subscribe button. That way you get notified about all these future videos, man. I would love to see you down in the comments. What else are you doing right now? But most importantly, guys, I am Zach. This has been the Cavern of Terror. Stay metal, my friends.